of the CSSA, Kagianas, President.
Thank you, Chair Day, and good morning, everyone. As always, CSSA is thankful for the opportunity to speak and share some updates with you. As we all know very well, this is a time of commencement and transition. Our students are walking across the stage and having their degrees conferred. Our students are also taking up new leadership positions and looking to current and ongoing leadership for wisdom. At our recent CSSA plenary, CSSA elected a new executive board that I'm excited for all of you to meet in the coming months. We will have Michael Wiafe from San Diego State University as our president. We will have Zara Karabit of Cal State Northridge as our chair, Michelle Tran of CSU San Marcos as VP Finance, Grace Pang of San Jose State as VP of Legislative Affairs, and Wanola Ologunju as VP of University Affairs. I am confident they will have strong leaders to carry the torch forward next year. This is a time of reflection for all of us, reflecting on the progress that's been made by our hard-labored efforts, looking to the future for what problems and eventual solutions may arise, and acknowledging our strengths and values that have gotten us through the challenges of yet another year. I myself have reflected quite a bit on my time at Sacramento State and at the Cal State Student Association. It's funny to think about where my story began. You may recall that in my first report to all of you, I shared my quote-unquote story. I was working back-to-back double shifts at Chili's, working hard to afford school with my sister after we moved halfway across the country for a CSU education. It was a lonely time for me as a freshman. I resented my situation because I didn't have time to make friends or join a club because I was working so much. But I did have time in between classes to conduct a little social experiment and try to make friends in a very passive way. But that was that I sat outside of the riverfront patio at Sacramento State with a sign that said free conversations. I was hoping that any student would drop by for a chat, and no one did. Not until I started to pack up my things and head to class did someone stop me to say hello. That brief exchange with a peer gave me this jolt of confidence that had me march right into the University Union, where I came across the student-run radio station, KSSU, and decided to sign up for a radio show spot right then and there, just out of sheer confidence from a conversation. I ended up curating a show called the Mighty Mia Power Hour, which was an hour strictly dedicated to powering up your Monday morning. It was my 1 hour a week where I could use my voice to share perspectives and encouragement to help others get through their tough days. It didn't matter who was tuned in and listening to me or not. To this day, I'm still convinced that my mom was the only one that was listening. But really, it was about sharing values and ideas for others without limitation. And today I am here before you as the president of the Cal State Student Association, stewarding the voice of the whole, where I have had the greatest honor of sharing values and ideas of our students. Only this time, it does matter who is tuned in and who is listening. This year, we have seen what it looks like when students amplify their voices in pure, candid, and natural ways for the issues that they face as a collective. We have seen groups of students address this board requesting partnership on financial aid reform, asking the CSU to take a seat at the table. We have asked to not be the radio static in the background, but a song that resonates with all of you. It is true that the financial barriers students face are arguably the most significant and will hopefully have more airtime on this issue in the future. I ask that you tune in and turn up the volume on what our students are saying. As a predecessor of mine, Taylor Herron, once described, shared governance is actually pretty simple. Initiating shared governance is equal parts action as it is kindness and inclusion. This year, students have changed the meaning of shared governance to no longer be a buzzword, a threat, or an expectation. But we have taken shared governance to mean our student-led responsibility to extend an invitation to you all to participate in our decision-making as well. I want to impart that your voice at our table is necessary and valuable to our work, just as the student voice is necessary to yours. I encourage you to redefine what shared governance means in your work. I encourage you to attend our CSSA plenary meetings in the future. I encourage you to share our space and your voice in matters that provide our student leaders with the context to be fierce partners with this board. I've learned that being a leader of a system, like all of you in your roles, as I am in mine, we have the agency to be leaders of consequence. Good or bad, we do not have the luxury of being anything but consequential leaders. Our stakeholders need to see progress, data, impact, and standards. And our students need to see bold, fierce, and proactive decisions. None of these actions come without consequences, but that is what we are here to do. I myself have worked hard to be a leader of consequence this year. To have you all agree with me or my peers was never my goal, but to be your partner has been, and I'm forever grateful to have learned from this partnership. To Dr. Blanchard, you've shown what it means to be a consequential leader when you sought understanding in my cause in times of competing priorities and great responsibility. You are a true advocate for our students. To Trustee Eisen, you've shown what it means to be a force to be reckoned with for our students and our institution by standing up boldly for general education programming that would revolutionize a CSU education for the betterment of our students. You are a true role model to students and have become a dear friend over the past 3 years that I've had the privilege of serving on committees with you. To EVC Relier, you have been a leader of consequence by always sharing a smile and warm perspectives. You have made an impact by always meeting with my team and I, no matter how much involvement you had in our particular issue. You showed unwavering kindness and guidance no matter what. To Trustee Taylor, you have been a leader of consequence by teaching me that the map is not the territory. Chair Nelson, thank you for inspiring our students and I to be bold and not to fear judgment if we speak the truth. Trustee Fong, you have brought kindness and openness to our exchanges and your contribution this year, making you a leader of consequence as well. Chair Day, you have been a compassionate and consequential leader by being an advocate for the Justice for Josiah movement, supporting mental health, and supporting students, family, and community as one whole. And lastly, Chancellor White, you have been a consequential leader by calling me after class one night from Asia to ensure that my voice was amplified in your state advocacy meetings. That call was a very formative moment for me and in our shared governance, and I'm grateful to you for your thoughtfulness and your candor. Many of you are making an impact each day in big ways and small, and in some ways you might not even realize. I ask that you share the trustee and administrative story with our students as well. I would like to thank you all for your courage and consequential leadership. I now have the distinct privilege of formally recognizing our consequential and transformational leaders who our students have been impacted by. Each year, the Cal State Student Association Board of Directors, comprised of the 23 CSU student representatives up through the democratic process of elections on their campus, has recognized the commitment and contributions to student success made by members of our CSU community. Today, I am honored to present awards to 3 individuals who have been integral in advancing our mission of advancing the student experience. So we're going to go through the 3 awards, and once you hear your name, if you can please join me at the podium, my chair, Joe, and I will offer you your award. Administrator of the Year. So this year, CSSA recognizes an administrator who has served California State University students for over 25 years at multiple campuses and currently at the Office of the Chancellor. As you might suspect, our Board of Students takes on a wide variety of student issues, many of them difficult to navigate in many ways. This year's recipient literally meets us where we are at every month across the state at our board meetings, providing us with the information and insight to ensure we are successful. Always supporting students in understanding and addressing the most pressing issues. I'm delighted to present this award to a true partner in student success. Please join me in congratulating the 2018-19 Administrator of the Year, Ray Murillo, Director of Student Programs and CSU Office of the Chancellor. Next, we have our Faculty of the Year Award. Faculty are central to the experience of CSU students, as you all are aware. With the right professors, students are liberated and empowered to achieve the impossible. While consensus among students is that this year's recipient is the best professor they've ever had, there's some debate about why. Some say it's his dynamic and engaging teaching style, while others point to his care and compassion. I'm happy to present this award to an individual who challenges every student, staff, and faculty member to consider how our histories, culture, and traditions breathe life into every academic discipline. It is not just what we learn, but how we learn. Please join me in recognizing the 2018-19 Faculty of the Year, Dr. Robert Keith Collins of San Francisco State University. Chair of the CSU Academic Senate, will you accept this award on his behalf? Lastly, we have the Robert C. Maxson President of the Year Award. Named in honor of former Long Beach State President, the Robert C. Maxson President of the Year Award recognizes a campus president whose leadership reflects a commitment to students and demonstrates exceptional inclusion of students in shared governance. When asked why this year's president was a deserving of the honor, Student Body President Alicia Sharma stated, kind of giving it away, this year was devastating for our campus community. We found ourselves in the midst of the most destructive wildfire California had ever seen. While thousands were fleeing the area, our president drove into the chaos, into the confusion for us. The students, the campus, the community. That is leadership. Even during this incredibly difficult time, she helped me discover my voice. She made me feel like I mattered. President Hutchinson is the heart of Chico State. That was from the AS president. In my experience in Washington, D.C., this particular president inspired me and took a genuine care in my perspective and in my success, making me feel a part of the Wildcat family, although I'm a Hornet. She is a truly special person, and I am honored to have learned from her this year. With that, please join me in recognizing the 2018-19 Robert C. Maxson President of the Year Award to Dr. Gail Hutchinson.
Thank you. So good to see you. Thank you. Thank you. It's hard to make it. What's Wildcat always like? Oh, yeah. Thank you. Appreciate that.
Thank you. Finally, I'd like to recognize a member of the Board of Trustees who has been, of course, a fierce advocate for students, as they always are, our voting student trustee, Emily Hinton, for her unwavering commitment to students. Of her many titles, including Council President, Associated Students President, and Woman of the Year, Emily most proudly and comfortably wears the title of Advocate. Emily, even during her own struggles with homelessness and food insecurity, you fought for the basic rights of others. Your legacy is not only to be reflected in the state budget, but in the grateful lives of CSU students. We, the students, are indebted to you for your service and congratulate you on your recent graduation from Sonoma State. Thank you. We have something for you. Yeah. exciting. So as you can see, we have some pretty spectacular people in the room. Many of you also deserve awards and will be recognized. But I think this is a really special moment to acknowledge some of the efforts that have really been monumental this year from our leadership. And really, I think it's special because our student board of directors has made these awards, and they have seen all of your commitment, how you've made them feel, how you've included them in your conversations, and really just how you've cared for them as individuals as well as a collective. So I'd like to close by saying that the value of me holding that free conversation sign as a freshman has more consequences today than I had ever even imagined. It led me to share this incredible experience with all of you. And really, it turns out that free conversations in a solid community, like the communities we have in the CSU, are not quite free, but they come at a cost. Our words matter, our work matters, this board matters, and all of you, your time and effort and commitments that you've made to our students matter. Thank you all for giving me the opportunity to speak to you each and every meeting and for sharing this last conversation with me together. With that, I say Vox Veritas Vita. Be safe, be kind, do good. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Mia. Thank you for making all of us cry, and thank you for your service and dedication to the CSU and to the CSSA, and to your leadership team. Thank you for recognizing some pretty special people for some well-deserved honors, and congratulations to the new leadership team as you take office. Look forward to working with you.